Ever feel like you have a million things to do, but you just can't bring yourself to start any of them? You stare at your to-do list, feeling this heavy weight, and then you just pick up your phone and start scrolling. 10 minutes turn into an hour, and then you're left feeling guilty, calling yourself lazy. But what if I told you you're not lazy? You're just overstimulated. Let's break down what's really happening in your brain. Imagine this scene. It's late, the room is dark, and the only light is the glow of your phone on your face. You're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. With every new video, every notification, every ping, and every swipe, your brain gets a tiny reward. A little hit of a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is often called the feel-good chemical, but it's more accurate to call it the motivation chemical. It's what drives you to seek out rewards. Our brains are hardwired to chase it, and our phones. They're basically dopamine slot machines we carry in our pockets. They offer an endless stream of novelty, social validation, and instant gratification. A funny meme, a like on your photo, a surprising news headline, bam, dopamine. Bam, more dopamine. The problem is, this constant, easy access to dopamine messes with your brain's reward system. Think of it like eating candy all day. You're constantly snacking on sugar. A healthy, balanced meal like an apple or a salad seems incredibly bland and unappealing, right? It's the same with your brain's motivation. Why would your brain want to tackle a difficult, long-term project that offers a delayed reward when it can get an instant, easy hit from your phone right now? This creates a state of overstimulation. Your brain's baseline for what is considered interesting or rewarding gets jacked up so high. The normal, everyday tasks, like doing laundry, answering emails, or even reading a book, can't compete. They don't offer the same rapid-fire dopamine hits. So, you feel a complete lack of motivation to do them. It's not laziness. It's a dopamine imbalance. Your brain is essentially full from the digital junk food, and it has no appetite for the healthy meals of real life. This cycle is vicious. You feel unmotivated, so you turn to your phone for a quick distraction. That distraction further drains your motivation for real tasks, which makes you feel even more guilty and lazy, leading you to seek more distraction. You're trapped in a loop. You might notice your attention span shrinking. You find it hard to focus on a movie without checking your phone. You start a task, get a notification, and completely lose your train of thought. This is the cognitive cost of overstimulation. So, how do we break free? The answer is to throw your phone away and move to a cabin in the woods, though. That does sound nice sometimes. The key is to consciously manage your dopamine intake. It's about performing a dopamine detox. This doesn't have to be extreme. Start small. Try setting specific no-phone times. Maybe the first hour after you wake up and the last hour before you go to sleep. This allows your brain to wake up and wind down naturally, without that immediate digital rush. Turn off non-essential notifications. Do you really need to know every time someone likes a comment on a post? Probably not. Each buzz or ping is an invitation to get that dopamine hit, so reducing them reduces the temptation. Another powerful technique is to practice mindfulness and embrace boredom. Yes, boredom. The next time you're waiting in line or have a few spare minutes, resist the urge to pull out your phone. Just look around. Be present. Let your mind wander. Boredom is the soil in which creativity and new ideas grow. When you allow your brain to be understimulated for a while, it starts to recalibrate. Suddenly, reading that book or starting that project doesn't seem so daunting. Your brain is hungry for stimulation again, and it's more willing to work for it. Remember, this isn't about blaming technology. It's about understanding how it affects us so we can use it intentionally instead of letting it use us. You have the power to reset your brain's reward system. You can get your motivation back. You're not broken, and you're definitely not lazy. You're a human with a brain that's trying to navigate a world that is more stimulating than ever before. So be kind to yourself. Take it one step at a time and reclaim your focus. Have you ever wondered what really drives you? That feeling when you're about to eat your favorite food, or when you see a notification pop up on your phone? Most people would say it's happiness. But what if I told you it's something else entirely? What if it's the thrill of the chase, not the capture? You've probably heard of dopamine. It's often called the feel-good hormone, the happiness molecule. But that's a huge misconception. Dopamine isn't about feeling happy. It's about wanting, craving, seeking. It's the powerful force of anticipation. Think about it. When you're scrolling through social media, you're not necessarily happy with what you see. You're looking for that next interesting post, that next funny video. That's dopamine at work, pushing you to keep searching for a reward. It's the molecule of more. It's what gets you out of bed to chase your goals. It's the excitement before a first date, the adrenaline before a big presentation. It's that constant, nagging feeling that something better is just around the corner. Dopamine's job is to make you pursue things it thinks will bring you pleasure, whether that's food, success, or social connection. It's a survival mechanism, really. Our ancestors needed that drive to find food and build shelter. In our modern world, that same system is now triggered by emails, video games, and online shopping. But here's the catch. Dopamine doesn't care about your long-term satisfaction. It's all about the immediate hunt. It gets you to the pizza, but it doesn't make you savor the taste. That feeling of contentment, of being satisfied with what you have, that comes from other brain chemicals like serotonin. This is why we can get stuck in loops. We eat the whole bag of chips, binge watch an entire series, or endlessly refresh our feeds, always seeking that next dopamine hit, but never feeling truly fulfilled. This creates what's called a dopamine loop. You get a cue, like your phone buzzing. Your brain releases dopamine in anticipation of a reward, like a message from a friend. You check your phone, which is the action. You get the reward, or maybe you don't, and the loop either ends or, more often, starts all over again. Tech companies know this. They design their apps to hijack the system, keeping you hooked with unpredictable rewards, like the pull to refresh feature or the infinite scroll. So, how do we break free from this cycle and find real happiness? The key is to understand the difference between pleasure and contentment. We need to be mindful of what triggers our dopamine system. Instead of constantly chasing external rewards, we can find joy in the present moment. We can focus on activities that release those other feel-good chemicals, the ones associated with genuine connection and long-term well-being. Think about spending quality time with loved ones, enjoying nature, practicing gratitude, or helping others. These activities provide a deeper, more lasting sense of fulfillment that the fleeting rush of dopamine can never match. It's not about eliminating dopamine. We need it. It's the engine that drives us to achieve great things. But we need to be the ones in the driver's seat. By understanding how it works, we can harness its power for good, directing that motivation toward meaningful goals instead of letting it lead us down a path of endless craving. Think about it. Social media feeds that never end. Video games with rewards that always feel just one more level away. Junk food chemically formulated to hit that perfect bliss point of salty, sweet, and fatty. App notifications that buzz and ping, creating a constant sense of urgency. Each of these is a slot machine for your brain. Every like, every new level, every delicious bite is a small win, a little hit of dopamine. And just like a casino, the house always wins. In this case, the house is any company whose business model relies on one thing: your attention. Your attention is their profit. So what is dopamine, really? It's often called the pleasure molecule, but that's a bit of a misunderstanding. It's more accurately the motivation molecule. It's the chemical in your brain that drives you to seek rewards. It's what got our ancestors to hunt for food and find a mate. It's essential for survival. But here's the catch. Our ancient brains, hardwired for a world of scarcity, are now living in a world of overwhelming abundance. The modern world has hijacked this primitive reward system. The constant flood of easy dopamine from our screens and snacks fundamentally changes our brains. It raises our baseline for stimulation. Things that used to be enjoyable, like reading a book, taking a quiet walk in nature, or having a deep conversation, can start to feel boring. Why? Because they don't provide that instant high-intensity dopamine rush. We become tolerant, needing a bigger and bigger hit just to feel normal. This can lead to a state of constant, low-grade dissatisfaction, anxiety, and an inability to focus on what truly matters. We're always seeking the next notification, the next video, the next sugary treat, caught in a cycle that leaves us feeling drained and unfulfilled. But here's the good news. You can take back control. You can reset your dopamine system. The key is to intentionally step away from high dopamine activities and re-engage with the low dopamine world. This is often called a dopamine detox. Now, it doesn't mean you have to become a hermit and give up all technology and treats forever. It's about being mindful and setting boundaries. Start small. Try dedicating 1 hour each day to being completely screen-free. No phone, no TV, no computer. Use that time to do something that requires your full, undivided attention. Read a physical book. Go for a walk without your headphones. Meditate. Work on a hobby like drawing or playing an instrument. At first, it will feel incredibly difficult. Your brain will scream for its usual fix. You'll feel bored, restless, even agitated. This is a withdrawal symptom, and it's proof that the detox is working. Stick with it. After a few days, something amazing starts to happen. The world starts to come back into focus. The quiet walk becomes peaceful instead of boring. The book becomes engrossing. You'll find you can concentrate for longer periods. You'll start to find joy in simple, everyday things again. You're teaching your brain that it doesn't need constant, intense stimulation to feel good. You're lowering your dopamine baseline back to a natural level. You can apply this to other areas too. Instead of reaching for processed snacks, try eating whole foods. Notice the natural sweetness of a piece of fruit or the savory flavor of vegetables. It might taste bland at first, but as your palate resets, you'll discover a whole new world of flavor. The goal isn't to deprive yourself of pleasure, but to find more sustainable and genuine sources of it. By consciously choosing how you spend your time and what you consume, you're no longer a passive player in the dopamine casino. You're taking back the controls. You're deciding what's truly worth your attention. It's a journey, and it's not always easy. But reclaiming your focus and your ability to find joy in the real world is one of the most powerful things you can do for your well-being. Ever feel like you're running on a hamster wheel? You're juggling a dozen tabs on your laptop, your phone is buzzing non-stop with notifications, and you're trying to listen in on a meeting. At the end of the day, you feel completely drained. But when you look back, you wonder, what did I actually accomplish? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. We live in a culture that glorifies being busy. We wear it like a badge of honor. But what if I told you that most of the time, you're not actually busy? You're just distracted. There's a powerful quote that says, "We mistake activity for progress." Think about that for a second. Constantly switching between your email, a project, a text message, and social media feels like you're doing a lot. Your brain is firing on all cylinders, trying to keep up. But is it progress, or is it just activity? The science is pretty clear on this. Our brains aren't wired for multitasking. When we think we're multitasking, what we're actually doing is called task switching. Each time you switch from one task to another, there's a cognitive cost. It takes time and mental energy to disengage from one thing and re-engage with another. It's like trying to have 5 different conversations at once. You might catch bits and pieces of each, but you won't truly understand or contribute meaningfully to any of them. This constant switching fragments our attention. It prevents us from entering a state of deep work or flow, which is where real breakthroughs and high-quality work happen. Deep work is when you so focused on a single task that the rest of the world just melts away. It's when you're fully immersed and your productivity goes through the roof. But you couldn't get there if your phone buzzes every 2 minutes or you have an irresistible urge to check your inbox. Every notification, every quick check of social media is a tiny paper cut to your focus. It might seem harmless in the moment, but all those little interruptions add up, leaving your attention span in tatters and your to-do list barely touched. So, what's the solution? It's not about working harder or longer hours. It's about working smarter. It begins with a mindset shift, valuing focused progress over frantic activity. Let's reclaim our attention. Start small. Try the Pomodoro technique. Work on a single task with undivided attention for 25 minutes. Then take a 5-minute break. During those 25 minutes, turn off your phone notifications. Close all the unnecessary tabs. Tell your colleagues you're in a focus block. You'll be absolutely amazed at what you can accomplish in one focused 25-minute session compared to an hour of distracted, fragmented work. Another powerful strategy is to batch your tasks. Instead of checking your email every time a new message arrives, set aside specific times in the day to process your inbox. For example, once in the morning, once after lunch, and once before you wrap up. The same goes for messages and calls. By grouping similar activities together, you minimize the cost of tasks, switching, and keep your brain in one mode for a longer period. It's about creating boundaries to protect your most valuable asset, your attention. It's also crucial to be intentional about your downtime. True rest isn't scrolling endlessly through your phone. That's just more stimulation for a tired brain. Real rest is disconnecting. Go for a walk without your device. Read a physical book. Have a conversation with someone face to face. Let your mind wander and recharge. This is when your brain consolidates information and you often get your best ideas. Remember, the goal isn't to be a machine that never stops. It's to be a human who works effectively and then rests fully. So, the next time you find yourself with a million things open, feeling overwhelmed and busy, take a step back. Ask yourself, is this activity or is this progress? Ditch the illusion of multitasking. Embrace the power of single tasking and deep focus. You'll not only get more done, but you'll also feel less stressed and more fulfilled by your work. It's time to stop being just distracted and start being truly productive. Have you ever scrolled for hours, feeling nothing? Or maybe you've chased that next big thing, that next purchase, that next high, only to find the feeling fades faster every time. It's not just you. We're living in a world of constant stimulation, and it's doing something strange to our brains. Imagine your brain's reward system like a light bulb. When you experience something pleasurable, it lights up. But what happens when you're constantly flipping the switch? It flickers, gets dimmer, and eventually it can burn out. This isn't just a metaphor. It's a real neurological process. We're talking about dopamine, the feel-good chemical. Our brains release it when we do something we enjoy. But today, we have endless sources of it. Fast food, non-stop social media feeds, binge-watching entire seasons in one sitting. These things are designed to give us quick, easy hits of dopamine. The problem is, our brains are smart. They adapt. When you bombard your brain with too much dopamine, it starts to protect itself. It does this by reducing the number of dopamine receptors. Think of it like this. If someone is shouting at you all day, you eventually tune them out. Your brain does the same thing with pleasure. It turns down the volume. So, the same things that used to make you feel amazing now barely register. You need more and more stimulation just to feel normal, let alone happy. This is what's called tolerance. It's a dangerous cycle. You chase bigger thrills to get the same feeling, but your brain keeps adapting, keeping that true satisfaction just out of reach. It's like trying to quench your thirst with salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you get. This isn't about blaming technology or modern life. It's about understanding how our ancient brains are struggling to cope in this new environment. So what can we do? The answer is simpler than you might think: a dopamine detox. This doesn't mean locking yourself in a dark room and doing nothing. It's about consciously choosing to unplug from the sources of easy, instant gratification. Instead of scrolling through your phone first thing in the morning, maybe go for a walk. Instead of binge-watching a show, try reading a chapter of a book. Instead of ordering fast food, try cooking a meal from scratch. At first, it might feel boring. Really boring. That's your brain in withdrawal, screaming for its usual hit. It's a sign that your reward system is out of balance. But if you stick with it, something incredible happens. Your brain starts to reset. It begins to heal its dopamine pathways and regrow those receptors. Slowly but surely, you'll start to find joy in the simple things again. The warmth of the sun on your skin. The taste of a fresh apple. A real conversation with a friend, without your phone buzzing in your pocket. These small, natural pleasures will start to feel intensely rewarding. You're recalibrating your brain to appreciate life, not just consume it. This isn't a one-time fix, but a lifestyle shift. It's about being mindful of what you're feeding your brain. Think of it like a healthy diet. You can still have a treat now and then, but your main diet should consist of things that truly nourish you. By taking a break from the constant noise, you give your mind the space it needs to find genuine contentment. You stop chasing pleasure and start experiencing it. The world becomes vibrant again. You feel more present, more connected, and more alive. So I challenge you, what's one source of instant gratification you can unplug from today, just for a little while? Give your brain a break. Let it reset. You might be amazed at the clarity and joy you find on the other side. Empty eyes staring at a screen, dark room, clock ticking. Does this scene feel familiar? It's the modern trap. You sit down, just for a minute, and suddenly, hours have vanished. You've scrolled, you've clicked, you've watched, but what have you gained? You lose focus, patience, and purpose. The constant stream of information, the endless alerts, the lure of another video. Another post designed to keep you hooked. It's a digital labyrinth, and with every turn, you drift further from your own path. We live in an age of instant gratification. Want food? It's at your door in 30 minutes. Want entertainment? It's on every screen you own. This convenience is incredible, but it comes with a hidden cost. Our brains are being rewired to expect immediate rewards for minimal effort. This makes it incredibly difficult to tackle the things that truly matter: the long-term goals, the deep work, the meaningful relationships. These things don't offer a quick dopamine hit. They require patience, persistence, and presence. Remember being a kid, completely lost in building a Lego castle or drawing a picture for hours? That deep, immersive focus is a state called flow. It's where you feel your best and do your best work. But this state is fragile. A single notification, a quick check of your email, can shatter it. When we constantly switch our attention, we're not just being inefficient, we're training our minds to be distracted. We're unlearning the very skill of concentration that is essential for achieving anything worthwhile. And what about our peace? Pleasure steals your peace. Think about it. The fleeting pleasure of one more video often leads to the anxiety of a looming deadline. The short-term fun of scrolling through social media can leave you feeling empty and comparing your life to a curated illusion. True, lasting peace. The kind that comes from a day of focused work. A meaningful conversation or time spent in nature's being traded for cheap digital substitutes. We're chasing highs that leave us lower than before. This isn't about blaming technology. It's about reclaiming our control over it. It's about making a conscious choice. Do you want to be a passive consumer of content or the active creator of your own life? The first step is awareness. Notice when you're falling into the trap. That moment you pick up your phone out of boredom pause. Ask yourself, what do I really need right now? It's a distraction, or is it something more? Maybe it's a short walk, a few deep breaths, or a glass of water. Start building what I call walls of focus. When you need to concentrate, put your phone in another room. Use apps that block distracting websites. Set a timer for 25 minutes and commit to a single task until it rings. These small acts of discipline are like reps at the gym for your attention muscle. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. You'll feel the pull, the itch, to get that quick hit of distraction. But if you push through, you'll find something amazing on the other side. Clarity, and rediscover boredom. We've become so afraid of being bored, but boredom is the birthplace of creativity. It's in those quiet, unstimulated moments that your mind starts to wander, connect ideas, and solve problems. Let yourself be bored. Let your mind drift. You'll be surprised at what it comes up with when it's not being fed a constant stream of external content. This journey back to focus and peace isn't about rejecting the modern world. It's about navigating it with intention. It's about choosing deep satisfaction over shallow pleasure. It's about looking up from the screen and realizing there's a whole world waiting for you. A world where you can build, create, and connect in ways that truly matter. The clock is ticking, yes, but it's not too late. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's been buzzing all over the internet. Dopamine detox. What is it, really? And could it be the key to unlocking a more focused, present, and fulfilling life? Let's find out. First, let's clear up a common misconception. When you hear dopamine detox, you might picture locking yourself in a dark room, avoiding all forms of fun. But that's not it at all. A dopamine detox is not about removing pleasure. It's about regaining control. Think of it less as a detox and more as a reset button for your brain. So, what is dopamine? It's a neurotransmitter, a chemical messenger in your brain that plays a huge role in motivation, reward, and pleasure. Every time your phone buzzes with a notification, you eat a sugary snack, or you scroll through social media, you get a little hit of dopamine. It feels good, right? The problem is, in our modern world, we're constantly bombarded with these easy dopamine hits. Our brains get so used to this constant stimulation that the things that used to bring us genuine joy, like reading a book, going for a walk, or having a deep conversation, start to feel, well, a little boring. This is where the concept of a dopamine detox, or as some neuroscientists prefer to call it, dopamine fasting, comes in. The idea is to intentionally take a break from these high dopamine, low-effort activities. We're talking about things like endless social media scrolling, binge-watching shows, playing video games for hours on end, and consuming junk food. By stepping away from them for a set period, maybe a day, a weekend, or even just a few hours, you give your brain's reward system a chance to recalibrate. So, how do you actually do it? Simpler than you think. Start by identifying your biggest compulsive behaviors. What's that one thing you turn to when you're bored, stressed, or just trying to avoid a task? For many of us, it's our phone. For others, it might be online shopping or gaming. Once you've identified them, pick a specific period to abstain. A beginner-friendly approach is to try a digital sunset. No screens for 1 to 2 hours before bed. Or maybe you dedicate one day of the weekend to being completely offline. During this time, what do you do instead? This is the best part. You replace those high-stimulation activities with things that are more mindful and naturally rewarding. Think about activities that require a bit more effort, but leave you feeling genuinely refreshed. You could go for a hike in nature, meditate in a quiet room with sunlight streaming through the window, journal your thoughts, spend quality time with loved ones face-to-face, or work on a hobby you've been neglecting. At first, it might feel incredibly boring. You'll feel the urge to reach for your phone, to turn on the TV. That's your brain craving its usual fix. But if you push through that initial discomfort, something amazing happens. Your brain starts to resensitize. Suddenly, the simple things become more enjoyable. The taste of your food is more vibrant. A conversation feels more engaging. The satisfaction of finishing a chapter in a book is immense. You're not just killing time. You're actively living it. You regain your ability to focus on difficult tasks because your brain isn't constantly seeking the next easy distraction. It's about trading cheap, fleeting pleasure for deep, lasting satisfaction. You're not depriving yourself of joy. You're teaching your brain to find joy in the right places again. The goal isn't to live like a monk forever. It's to build a healthier relationship with technology and other instant gratification sources. It's about being intentional with your time and attention. After your fast, you can slowly reintroduce these activities, but you'll likely find you have more control over them. You'll be using them as tools, not letting them use you. So, I challenge you to give it a try. Start small. Maybe just one evening this week. See how it feels to disconnect from the noise and reconnect with yourself and the world around you. You might just be surprised by what you discover. It's a powerful way to reset your focus, boost your motivation, and find more joy in your everyday life. You can't control what you don't recognize. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself mindlessly scrolling, only to look up and realize an hour has vanished? Or maybe you reached for a snack, not because you were hungry, but just because. It's a common story, and it highlights a simple truth. Our unconscious habits often run our lives. The first step to taking back control isn't about willpower or brute force. It's about awareness. Track every habit that hijacks your attention. This might sound like a chore, but it's actually an act of empowerment. Get a notebook. Open a notes app on your phone, whatever works for you. For the next week, your only job is to be a detective in your own life. When do you pick up your phone? What triggers it? Boredom, stress, a notification. Write it down. When do you procrastinate on that important project? What are you doing instead? Write that down too. No judgment, just observation. This isn't about shaming yourself. It's about gathering data. Every entry is a clue. You're not just writing checked social media. You're writing felt anxious about a work email, so I opened Instagram for 20 minutes. See the difference? One is a behavior, the other is a story. You're uncovering the why behind the what. This process illuminates the invisible scripts that run your day. You'll start to see patterns you never knew existed. Maybe you always grab a sugary drink around 3 p.m. when your energy dips. Or perhaps you delay going to bed by watching just one more episode because you read dreading the next day. Once you have this data, the game changes. You're no longer fighting an invisible enemy. You have a map. You can see the forks in the road where you make these automatic choices. Now, you can plan a new route. If you know that 3 p.m. energy slump is coming, you can have a healthy snack and a glass of water ready. You can decide to go for a 5-minute walk instead. If you know you're avoiding work emails, you can break the task down into a smaller, less intimidating first step. The simple act of writing it down brings the habit from the subconscious into the conscious mind. And once it's in the light, you have power over it. You can question it, challenge it, and ultimately, change it. It's not about becoming a perfect, hyper-productive robot. It's about becoming more intentional. It's about making sure your actions align with your goals and your values, not just your impulses. So here's your challenge. For 1 week, just track. Don't try to change anything yet. Just observe and record. Notice the triggers, the cravings, the rewards. At the end of the week, look at your notes. You'll be amazed at what you discover about yourself. This self-awareness is the foundation upon which all meaningful change is built. You're not just tracking habits. You're getting to know yourself on a deeper level. You're learning to be the author of your own life, not just a character in a story written by your impulses. Give it a try and let me know in the comments what you discover. Have you ever just turned off your phone? Not just put it on silent, but actually powered it down. Or deleted those apps you scroll through for hours, and then just walked outside. It feels weird, right? Uncomfortable. At silence, when you're used to constant pings and notifications, can be deafening. It feels like something is missing. Your brain is used to a constant stream of information, a non-stop dopamine drip from likes, comments, and new content. When you suddenly cut that off, it's like a detox. Your brain is literally going through withdrawal. You might feel anxious, bored, or even a little lost. This is a sign that something needs to change. You're starving the addiction, and that's a good thing. The first few times you do this, it will be hard. You'll reach for a phone that isn't there. You'll wonder what you're missing online, but stick with it, because on the other side of that discomfort is something amazing: clarity. You start to notice the world around you again. The sound of the wind, the color of the sky, the faces of people you pass. Your own thoughts, which have been buried under a mountain of digital noise, start to surface. At first, these thoughts might be chaotic. Your brain is recalibrating, learning to function without the constant external stimulation. It's learning to generate its own entertainment, its own focus. This is where the real magic happens. You're not just breaking a bad habit. You're rediscovering a part of yourself that got lost in the scroll. You're reclaiming your attention, which is one of the most valuable resources you have. Think about it. How many great ideas have been lost because you picked up your phone instead of letting your mind wander? How many meaningful connections have been missed because you were looking at a screen instead of the person in front of you? It's not about demonizing technology, it's about controlling it instead of letting it control you. So, here's a challenge for you. Schedule some off time every single day. It could be just 15 minutes to start. Turn off your phone, leave it in another room, and go for a walk. Or sit quietly with a cup of tea. Or just stare out the window. Don't try to fill the silence. Just be in it. Let your brain detox. Observe the discomfort without judgment. You'll be surprised at what happens. You'll start to feel more present, more creative. The initial anxiety will fade, replaced by a sense of peace and self-awareness. You're not just starving an addiction, you're feeding your soul. You're teaching yourself that you are enough without the constant validation from a digital world. You are the source of your own engagement. This journey isn't about rejecting the modern world. It's about finding balance. It's about making conscious choices about where you direct your attention. By intentionally creating moments of silence and disconnection, you give yourself the space to think, to feel, and to simply be. You're building a stronger, more resilient mind that isn't dependent on external validation to feel whole. The next time you feel that pull, that urge to mindlessly scroll, take a deep breath. Recognize it for what it is, a craving. And then, make a different choice. Put the phone down. Step outside. Listen to the silence. Have you ever felt like you're just drifting? Like you're going through the motions, chasing one fleeting high after another, only to end up feeling empty. You scroll through your phone, binge watch another series, or eat that extra slice of cake, looking for a quick hit of happiness. It feels good for a moment, but then what? The satisfaction disappears, and you're left right back where you started, maybe even feeling a little worse. This endless cycle is what we call chasing instant pleasure. It's the easy path, the one our brains are wired to prefer. But here's the secret they don't tell you. True lasting fulfillment isn't found there. It's found on the other side of comfort. Imagine this for a second. Instead of reaching for your phone first thing in the morning, you put on your running shoes and head out the door. The air is crisp, your muscles protest, and your mind screams at you to go back to bed. It's uncomfortable, but you push through. You finish the run, breathless and sweaty, and a wave of pride washes over you. That feeling, that sense of accomplishment, lasts far longer than any notification buzz. This is the power of replacing instant pleasure with purpose. When you consciously decide to trade a few moments of easy comfort for the pursuit of a meaningful goal, something incredible happens. Your entire world starts to shift. Clarity returns. Suddenly, the fog of indecision and distraction begins to lift. You know what you need to do? Think about it. Instead of another hour scrolling, you pick up a book. It might feel slow at first, even a little boring. Your mind wanders, but you stick with it. Page by page, you're not just reading words, you're expanding your mind, gaining new perspectives, and investing in your own intelligence. You're building a foundation of knowledge that no one can ever take away from you. The discomfort of focusing gives way to the deep satisfaction of learning and growing. Or maybe you decide to finally start that project you've been putting off. You sit down, face the blank page or the empty canvas, and the resistance is huge. It's so much easier to just do nothing. But you start. You write one sentence. You make one brushstroke. You take one small step, and then another. You're no longer just dreaming. You're actively building your future. You're turning a vague aspiration into a tangible reality. This is where the magic happens. Discomfort becomes your new reward. You start to seek it out. You learn to love the burn in your muscles during a workout because you know it means you're getting stronger. You embrace the mental struggle of solving a complex problem because you know it's making you sharper. You welcome the awkwardness of learning a new skill because you know it's broadening your horizons. Each time you choose purpose over pleasure, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. You're telling yourself that your long-term goals are more important than your short-term feelings. This isn't about punishing yourself or living a life devoid of joy. It's the opposite. It's about finding a deeper, more sustainable source of happiness. The joy you get from achieving a hard-won goal is 100 times more powerful than the fleeting thrill of an easy distraction. So, how do you start? Start small. Identify one area where you constantly seek instant gratification. Is it your phone? Junk food? Procrastination? Now, choose one purposeful action to replace it with. Just one. Don't try to change everything overnight. Maybe you commit to reading for 15 minutes before checking your phone in the morning. Or you decide to go for a 20-minute walk after dinner instead of turning on the TV. Or you dedicate 30 minutes, just 30, to working on your goal before you do anything else. The key is consistency. These small, deliberate choices, compounded over time, are what create monumental change. You're not just exercising, you're building discipline. You're not just reading, you're cultivating wisdom. You're not just working on a goal, you're designing your life. When you replace instant pleasure with purpose, clarity returns. You stop asking, "What should I do?" and you start knowing. The path forward becomes clear, paved with the bricks of your own intentional actions. Discomfort becomes your new reward, a signpost telling you that you're on the right track, that you're growing, that you're truly alive. Stop chasing shadows and start building your legacy. The real you is waiting on the other side of that discomfort. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into something that has the power to completely transform your life. Your morning routine. I know, you've probably heard it a million times. But have you ever truly considered the profound impact of those first 60 minutes? There's a powerful quote that says, "Control the first hour, and you control the day." And it's absolutely true. Your rituals create your results. What you do the moment you wake up sets the tone, the intention, and the momentum for everything that follows. Think about it. How do most people start their day? The alarm blares. They hit snooze. Then they grab their phone and are immediately flooded with emails, notifications, and the world's problems. It's a reactive state. You're instantly on the defensive, putting out fires before you've even had a chance to fully wake up. Your energy is scattered, your focus is fragmented, and you're starting the day from a place of stress and overwhelm. Does that sound like a recipe for success? For happiness? I don't think so. Now, imagine a different scenario. Your alarm goes off, and instead of reaching for your phone, you take a deep breath. You get up, pour a glass of water, and maybe stretch for a few minutes. You feel your body waking up. Then, you find a quiet spot, maybe near a window where the morning sunlight is just starting to stream in. You open a simple notebook. Not your laptop, not your tablet, just a plain, empty notebook. And you write, "This simple act is a game changer." This isn't about writing a novel or a business plan. It's about a conversation with yourself. What are you grateful for? What's one thing you want to accomplish today? What's been worrying you? Getting these thoughts out of your head and onto paper creates mental clarity. It's like decluttering your mind before the day has a chance to fill it with junk. This process allows you to start your day with intention. You're no longer reacting. You're creating. You are deciding what your day will be about. The sunlight is a crucial part of this. Getting natural light in your eyes within the first hour of waking helps regulate your circadian rhythm. It tells your brain, hey, it's time to be alert, focused, and energetic. It boosts your mood and signals the start of a productive day. Combining this with the mindfulness of journaling creates a powerful synergy. You're aligning your mind and your body with the natural rhythm of the day. Your morning doesn't have to be a 2-hour-long, complicated ritual. It can be just 15 or 20 minutes. The key is consistency. The goal is to build a buffer between the peaceful state of sleep and the chaotic demands of the world. This buffer is your sacred time. It's where you anchor yourself, set your priorities, and cultivate a positive mindset. Whether you choose to journal, meditate, read a few pages of a good book, or simply sit in silence with a cup of tea, the point is to do something for you. Before you give your energy away to others, your morning rituals are the foundation upon which you build your day. A strong foundation leads to a strong structure. A rushed, chaotic morning leads to a rushed, chaotic day. It's a simple cause and effect. So, I challenge you. For the next week, just 1 week, leave your phone alone for the first 30 minutes of your day. Find some sunlight, grab a notebook, and just see what happens. Hey everyone, how often do you find yourself just scrolling endlessly, trying to fill every single empty moment? From the second we wake up to the moment we fall asleep, it feels like there's this pressure to always be doing something, learning something, watching something. What if I told you the most productive thing you can do today is absolutely nothing? I know it sounds crazy, right? We're told that boredom is the enemy, a sign of laziness. But what if boredom is actually a superpower? Think about it. When was the last time you just sat there with no phone, no TV, no podcast, and just let your thoughts drift? It's in those quiet, seemingly unproductive moments that our brains finally get a chance to breathe. This isn't just some feel-good idea. There's real science behind it. Our brains have a special network, often called the default mode network. It asks the part of your brain that lights up when you're not focused on an outside task. It's your mind-wandering mode. And what does it do? It connects old memories, imagines future possibilities, and basically, it gets creative. It's like your brain's own internal brainstorming session, but it only gets activated when you're bored. So, when you're stuck in traffic, waiting in line, or just have a few minutes to spare, resist the urge to pull out your phone. Instead, just look out the window. Watch the people go by. Let your mind wander wherever it wants to go. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel restless, even anxious. That's totally normal. We've trained ourselves to fear empty space, but stick with it. See that feeling of boredom not as a problem to be solved, but as an invitation. An invitation to reconnect with yourself, to process your day, and to let your most brilliant ideas bubble up to the surface. Many of the greatest thinkers and artists in history, from Isaac Newton to J.K. Rowling, had their breakthrough moments not while they were hustling, but while they were daydreaming. Newton was just sitting under a tree. Rowling was on a delayed train. Their minds were free. This week, I challenge you to schedule some do-nothing time. Seriously, put it in your calendar. 10-15 minutes a day. Go for a walk without headphones. Sit on a park bench. Stare at the ceiling. Just be. Let yourself be bored. You might be surprised by the clarity, the peace, and the amazing ideas that find you when you finally stop searching for them. It's a simple shift in perspective. Boredom isn't an empty space. It's a creative space. It's the quiet soil where the seeds of innovation begin to grow. So let's learn to embrace it, to welcome it, and to use it as the powerful tool it truly is. What are your thoughts on boredom? Do you find it hard to disconnect? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your experiences. Have you ever felt like your brain is a browser with 100 tabs open? You're trying to focus, but you're constantly distracted, anxious, and just ... tired. What if I told you there is a way to close all those tabs and find your focus again naturally? It all comes down to one powerful little molecule in your brain: dopamine. We often think of dopamine as the pleasure chemical, right? We get a rush from checking our phones, eating junk food, or getting a new notification. But this constant stream of easy dopamine hits is actually rewiring our brains, making it harder to focus on things that truly matter. It's like we're training our minds to crave constant stimulation, leaving us feeling scattered and overwhelmed when we try to do deep, meaningful work. Imagine your brain's neural pathways. When we constantly seek these quick dopamine fixes, we're reinforcing pathways that lead to distraction. But here's the beautiful part. Our brains are incredibly adaptable. We can actually rewire them. This is where the concept of a dopamine detox comes in. But it's not about eliminating all pleasure from your life. It's about resetting your brain's baseline. Think of it like this: neurons reconnecting. When you consciously reduce these high dopamine, low-effort activities, you give your brain a chance to heal. It's like stepping into a space filled with a calm blue light. The world seems to slow down. By intentionally choosing activities that require more effort but offer deeper, more lasting satisfaction, like reading a book, going for a long walk in nature, or learning a new skill, you start to rebuild different neural pathways. These are the pathways of focus, patience, and sustained effort. At first, it might feel boring. You might feel restless. That's your brain craving its usual quick hit. But stick with it. After a while, something amazing starts to happen. When your dopamine levels begin to stabilize, your focus returns naturally. You will find you can sit and work on a single task for longer periods without feeling that itch to check your phone. You're not forcing yourself to concentrate. Concentration becomes your new default state. The change isn't just about productivity. It's about your entire sense of well-being. As you regain control over your attention, you'll notice a profound shift in your mood. You feel less anxious because you're no longer at the mercy of every notification and external trigger. You're living more intentionally. This is the feeling of being truly present in your own life. You feel more alive. So, how do you start? Begin small. Try setting aside 1 hour a day where you put your phone away and engage in a low dopamine activity. Maybe it's journaling, meditating, or just sitting quietly with your thoughts. Pay attention to how you feel before, during, and after. You're not just passing the time. You're actively retraining your brain. You're teaching it that satisfaction doesn't have to come from a screen. It can come from within. This journey is about reclaiming your most valuable asset, your attention. By understanding and working with your brain's chemistry, you can build a life that's not just more productive, but calmer, richer, and more deeply fulfilling. You can close those endless tabs and find the clarity you've been looking for. Ever feel like you're just going through the motions? You wake up, scroll through your phone, go to work, come home, binge watch a show, scroll some more, and then go to sleep. It's a cycle of constant, low-grade stimulation. We chase these little hits of dopamine from a funny video, a new notification, or another episode. But at the end of the day, do you feel genuinely fulfilled? Or just ... empty? What if I told you there's a different way? A deeper, more lasting source of happiness. It's not found in the endless scroll or the next distraction. It's found in progress. Think about it. That feeling when you finally solve a tough problem you've been wrestling with for hours. The pride you feel after finishing a challenging workout, your muscles aching but your spirits soaring. The quiet satisfaction of looking at a canvas you've just filled with color, or a page you've filled with words. This is the kind of happiness that's earned, not consumed. It's the joy of creation, of mastery, of pushing your own boundaries. When pleasure comes from progress, not distraction, life starts to feel meaningful again. It's the difference between being a passive consumer of content and an active creator of your own life. So, how do we get there? It starts with reclaiming your focus. In a world designed to distract you, the ability to concentrate, to engage in what Cal Newport calls deep work, is a superpower. It's about intentionally setting aside time free from interruptions, to pour your full attention into a single, meaningful task. This could be anything: learning a new skill, working on a passion project, writing a book, or mastering your craft. Imagine this. You wake up before the sun, not to your phone, but to the quiet stillness of the morning. You go for a run as the sky turns from purple to orange, feeling your body grow stronger with every step. Or maybe you sit down with a blank page, a musical instrument, or a piece of code, and you just begin. The first few minutes are tough. Your mind wants to wander, to check your email, to do anything else. But you gently guide it back. Slowly, you sink into a state of flow. The world outside fades away. It's just you and your work. Time seems to warp, and hours can feel like minutes. In this state, you're not just being productive. You're connecting with something essential within yourself. You're building something, improving something, becoming something. And when you finally emerge, you're not drained. You're energized. You feel a sense of accomplishment that no amount of passive entertainment can ever provide. This isn't about giving up fun or relaxation. It's about rebalancing the scales. It's about recognizing that true happiness, the kind that sticks with you and builds your self-worth, comes from effort. It comes from the struggle, the process, and the eventual breakthrough. That's true happiness earned, not scrolled. So I challenge you. Find one thing you want to make progress on. Just one. Dedicate 30 minutes to it tomorrow, with no distractions. See how it feels. See if you don't feel a spark of that earned satisfaction. It's a journey, not a destination, but it's a journey that fills your life with purpose and genuine joy. It's time to stop scrolling for happiness and start creating it. Do you ever feel like you're just running? Constantly chasing the next thing, the next high, the next notification. It's like we're all on this endless hamster wheel, scrolling through feeds, binge-watching shows, seeking that little jolt of pleasure. We call it unwinding, but honestly, does it ever really make us feel rested? We tell ourselves we need more dopamine, that next little hit to keep us going. But what if I told you that's not what you need at all? You don't need more dopamine. You need direction. This is how you reclaim your mind, one day at a time. It's not about adding more to your plate. It's about subtraction. It's about consciously choosing to step off the dopamine roller coaster and finding solid ground. Think about it. Our brains are constantly being hijacked by things designed to keep us hooked. Social media algorithms, clickbait headlines, endless video streams. They all prey on our basic human desire for novelty and reward. Each ping, each like, each new episode is a tiny hit of dopamine. It feels good in the moment, but it leaves us feeling scattered, unfocused, and strangely empty afterward. We're busy, but not productive. We're connected, but feel more alone than ever. The first step to reclaiming your mind is simply awareness. Notice where your attention goes. When you have a free moment, what's your first instinct? Do you reach for your phone? Do you automatically open a specific app? Don't judge yourself for it. Just notice. This awareness is your starting point. It's like turning on the lights in a room you've been stumbling around in. Suddenly, you can see the layout. You can see the obstacles. You can see the door. Once you have that awareness, you can start to create space. This is the subtraction part I mentioned. Maybe it starts with something small, like not checking your phone for the first hour of the day. Instead of waking up and immediately flooding your brain with other people's emergencies and curated highlights, what if you just sat with your own thoughts? Maybe you stretch. Maybe you look out the window. Maybe you make a cup of coffee and just savor the taste without any other input. This isn't about productivity. It's about presence. It's about giving your mind a chance to wake up on its own terms, not on the terms of an algorithm. This is where direction comes in. When you're not constantly reacting to external triggers, you create a vacuum, and your mind will naturally want to fill that vacuum. This is your opportunity to fill it with intention. Instead of asking, "What does the world want from me today?" you can start asking, "What do I want for myself today?" It could be something simple. Today, I want to finish one chapter of a book. Today, I want to go for a 20-minute walk without my phone. Today, I want to have a real, uninterrupted conversation with a friend. These small, intentional actions are the building blocks of a directed life. They don't provide the same instant, flashy high as a viral video or a flood of notifications. The reward is quieter. It's a slow-burn feeling of accomplishment, of integrity, of being in control of your own attention. It's the feeling of building something meaningful, day by day. It's the difference between eating junk food and eating a nourishing meal. One gives you a quick rush, the other gives you sustained energy. This journey isn't a quick fix. There will be days when the pull of the dopamine roller coaster is strong. You'll find yourself scrolling without even realizing it. That's okay. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. Each time you notice, you have a new opportunity to choose. You can choose to put the phone down. You can choose to close the laptop. You can choose to step outside and take a deep breath. Every choice to redirect your attention is a small victory. It's a rep for your focus muscle. Over time, you'll notice a shift. The constant background hum of anxiety starts to fade. You'll find it easier to concentrate on deep work. You'll feel more present in your own life, more connected to the people right in front of you. You'll start to find joy not in consumption, but in creation and connection. You'll discover that a quiet morning with a cup of tea can be more fulfilling than hours of mindless scrolling. You are the master of your own mind. It might not feel like it right now, but you have the power to take back the controls. It starts with a simple choice. Choose direction over dopamine. Choose intention over impulse. Choose to build a life, not just consume one. Start today. Start small. Reclaim your mind, one day at a time. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more conversations on living intentionally. See you next time.